let's do farm sim.
So we had a bit of a discussion on farm sim and how we're going to set up. So we're going to start hard, but we're going to start off with some money and stuff. Is that what was happening?
Yeah, I mean, we had definitely discussed doing that, and you had talked to Valuna and Beard, and they're good with us starting without them for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beard's available, apparently, so I'll message him
Okay. Okay.
and see about getting him in here. Unless Valuna wants to take a break from her bath bombs and wants to go talk to him, or I can message him. Either way, I'm good either way.
So if we're gonna do the start that has stuff already assigned to us, I have to create it in single player
Okay,
first.
no problem, Valuna. That's fine, Twin. Go ahead. Because I need to message Dr. Beardface.
Let me clear out some of my testing saves. Clear out some of my testing saves. Clear out some more testing saves. I made a save for each map so I could fart around and look to see what they did. Empty slot. New farmer. Easy. You already own some land and equipment. And also, I had talked to Dr. Beardface shortly after the stream, and we had kind of done some poking and prodding at money, and realized that hard is just really stupid hard.
Hello, friend.
Hello.
Hello. So do we want to do slightly less hard for money?
Yeah, let's do slightly less hard because I mean none of us are in this to start a career in digital farming, so it doesn't need to be that realistic.
Okay.
They yeah, from my experience from the previous version that I played, hard is hard, like ridiculously hard.
Right.
It used to be a lot easier to make money and a little bit easier to kind of grow your farm productively, even on a hard mode. But the hard seems like it's more tuned towards people who want to like put it on realistic time and then wake up in the morning in real life and then go do their farm work.
Right. I honestly I can't imagine that because we did some realistic time before, and you end up doing all your farm work, working all your fields, and then having nothing to do, and then you end up having to crank it up to 120 times speed just to have a chance at doing something for the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see there is a world where if I was somebody who maybe had more time on my hands, that joining a multiplayer server that was realistic would be kind of neat. Like being in a 1-for-1 time scale and, you know, having your own farm amongst a bunch of other farms would be really cool. Be like
Right.
very community-ish.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting roleplay as well, you know?
Yep.
Like, hey Fred, can you come over and spray my field? But
Not after you fucked my wife.
which sure.
Alright, we're coloring the gloves. We're doing the thing. Getting some glasses on.
Stranded was not a good cup of tea.
Oh
It
boy.
was broken beyond recognition.
It's been in development for 6 fucking years. 4 years ago, I put over 100 hours in it because I was like, this fucking game rocks. I love this game. So tonight, couldn't figure out how to craft water containers. Drinking too many coconuts gave you dysentery, so you shit yourself to death.
Yep. So I drank
And
all of our
then-
coconuts and it immediately came out the back end. And then I was immediately dehydrated again.
Yeah, and then the desync was so bad, he built a fire. I couldn't see the fire. And not only that, so I would skin things, he would cook things. Because I couldn't see the fire, it was uncooked for me, so I ate a bunch of raw crab and raw fish.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds sort of like Project Zomboid to me.
Oh, boy.
I have heard that game, but I haven't heard anything about that game. Like, no one talks about it, so I haven't heard anything.
I've played a good deal of it. It's a very similar situation where you have developers who are just taking very long. And it's a cool concept, and there's not many other games that are like it, so because it's the one of its kind, it draws me back in every once in a while.
Okay.
But exactly that. Like, it can be very challenging if you haven't had a decent walkthrough from somebody who knows what they're doing. Because you'll eat things that you're not supposed to eat, or do things you're not supposed to do.
Huh. Okay, this save. Same info as last time for passwords and whatnot.
Okay, Scooby. So this one, you're actually on tiny islands. So you're encouraged to go out to go explore other islands. So seafaring and getting, a better raft is encouraged. Building shelter is encouraged. Oh no, Stranded Deep. Never mind. That's the only one I know. Never mind. I'll stop talking.
I've asked to join. Oh, yep, you got me.
Acceptified.
I haven't even booted up the game
Why not?
because I'm dumb.
We've already farmed the whole farm.
It's all done. We've won the game. You missed
Fuck,
it.
now I have to. Oh, damn. The whole game? The whole game?
The whole
What is
game.
this?
We beat Farming Simulator.
What is this? Junk punk all over again? God. Oh, yeah, I don't need to go through the intro again.
Twin, I picked up Cooking Simulator VR today.
Nice.
Oh, it's so much fun. Oh, boy.
I haven't had a
Do
chance
I
to try
have
it
some clips
yet.
to show you?
I,
Like when you drop lemons and you can't quite reach them on the floor.
I had a bit of a headache today, so I put the headset on for like the tutorial, and then I was like, that's enough. But I'm looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah, I'd like to try it at some point. I just recently had to fix my VR, so I've been without for a while.
I liked the career mode on the regular version of Cooking Simulator, but it just full on frustrated me, the cutting in that game. Couldn't do it, even with perks and things like that.
I didn't mind the cutting, honestly. I didn't like the career mode. Like, it just didn't engage me.
Very restrictive.
But
For me,
Shelter,
it was the flipping.
love it.
Flipping
Shelter looks
food
cool.
was awful.
Flipping food
Yeah,
was
oh,
awful.
yeah.
Flipping food was definitely bad. But I mean, I can cook, no problem, in Cooking Sim. But it just something about that career mode just didn't do it for me. I didn't care. But Shelter, absolutely love it.
Anytime anything asked for like sliced potatoes or fries, I would just put it in the food processor and cube it.
This is what you're getting. This is the shape of fry you're getting. All right. Are you guys in yet?
I am in.
I'm making my person.
Ah,
Me too.
I am currently hopping on top of tractors. Yes, Scooby, at some point we need to try that.
Yes, Yes, but I lent my VR out to Moose, so he could try what the index was like, because he just has the Oculus. So, but he's actually noting that the Oculus controllers are easier.
Yeah, Index has some tricky bits with grabbing. Since the Oculus and other controllers are just an actual button to push, you can very easily grab or ungrab things. With the Index, it's got sensors for all of your fingers, and they're pretty sensitive to the point where even if your finger is kind of sort of close to it, as in holding onto the controller like a normal person, it senses that and it counts that as a grab mechanic. So then it's very hard to let things go.
Yeah, I didn't find that. I actually found that the grab mechanics you needed to squeeze, and that's what hurt my hands. Like that fishing game that I played, I absolutely fucking loved it. But after playing it, my hands hurt so bad for 4 days.
Maybe there's a sensitivity setting that we need to change because mine is way too loose. I don't even have to grab. Like I can hover my fingers near it and it senses that as a grab. So I can't even. I have to open up my entire hand fully just to let something go.
Oh, did they give us equipment already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the easy start I was talking about. You start off with equipment, like bare bones equipment, like $100,000 and the farm.
Oh, nice.
So let me edit farm. Purple cow.
I'm okay with this because yikes-a-rooney.
Yeah, let's just get into actually, not being in debt.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the interest payment of 10,000 each time was crippling. It's like,
Right, because that we couldn't even make that much in a day. Okay, so we have a harvest to do. We have a cultivate to do. We have a seeding to do.
oh, we even get like buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. Ooh, so yeah, this is more what I'm used to.
So who wants to do what?
What do we got? I'm good with anything.
Okay.
I don't have particular. I'm actually kind of curious what these things are. Open wardrobe.
Oh yeah, so there's the wardrobe. The wardrobe is silly because there's a building for that, but you can just hit Alt P at any time to change your character. So it's odd that there's a building spot for that.
Looks like we got a combine head trailer and
Yep.
a sprayer here.
Nope, that's the
So
trailer.
this field here needs plowing, right?
That's the trailer.
Needs cultivating.
Yeah.
Although I do believe. Let me
This one
check to
says
see
it
we actually need
needs time,
plowing
needs
too.
Plowing. Growth harvested. This was a wheat.
So yeah,
Just be
that
cultivating.
that was a wheat. I'm looking at the soil composition
Yeah,
though.
5 is HTC.
All of our fields need lime, and they need plowing. We can ignore those entirely for now if we just want to go with the current fields as is, and then work on those later.
Yeah. So, do they need plowing or do they need cultivating?
They need plowing, because the plowing is a separate requirement to give additional yield from the crops.
Okay.
So we don't
Is
necessarily
everything
need to do that
like
right now.
We don't have a plow though.
Right.
Isn't that what's on the back of this thing?
That is a cultivator.
Oh, gotcha.
But we can start with cultivating, seed it, and then grow it, and then...
Oh, there's
We'll-
a plow over there.
Nope, that's the seeder.
Is it?
If
How
I
do we have
remember.
everything except for a plow?
Because plow is considered optional. It just helps make the ground betterer to work with.
Bitterer.
Well, let's just cultivate and get started.
Okay.
Let me in.
Uh,
I
Oh,
will
right.
seed
I need
this
you will do
field.
seed, so I will start harvesting then.
Giant farm.
Unfold,
There we go. And I'm right here anyway, so I'll just start up with
attach.
this.
What seed do we want?
I don't know. What can we plant right now according to the weather schedule?
Let's see here. Where do we see that again?
We can plant. Oh, it's the 15 calendar icon in the menu. We can plant canola, and we can plant poplar. everything else is not plantable right now since they started us off in August.
Canola?
Canola
Or-
looks like canola is the answer.
What about the sorghum?
Sorghum is down there. That is in harvest season right now.
Oh, the green is, I see, planting season.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go with canola then.
Sounds like a plan.
Canola it is.
Gila. Hi. Stop it. Alright, we're going. Scooby, I've actually debated on getting Vive controllers for mine, just because of the issues I've been having with the index, but I want to see if there's a sensitivity setting for that.
You turned off crop destruction, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Let me double check on that. Yes I did. Because I just mowed through our crop and it worked fine.
Okay.
You know, they did this in 15 and probably earlier games as well. I would love for the pedestrian or the civilian cars to mind their own fucking business. Like, they don't stop until they're right up in your grill. And then, by then you can't turn or do anything because they're literally like a foot from you. Like, can't they just chill?
I think I had one the other day just full on like cut me off.
Right, like they don't care. They don't care that there's a giant machinery that can turn them into kibble. They just want to go. Alright, Gila. Hi, sir. Hi. I need you to stop, though. Haha, smooth agent. What did the farmer talk about while wowing his cow? I don't know what that means, actually. Utter nonsense.
Nice. So it seems like using the ridge marker is pulling up rocks. I don't know if good thing or bad.
I don't know. I think it could just be because the rocks haven't been removed at all from the field.
They're just populating now that I'm going through it.
Possibly, yeah. Gila, shoot. Stop yelling at me.
I crave treat.
He just yells at me all the time. There is no treat need. There's no nothing. There's just yelling. Always yelling. Always with the yelling.
Damn, these trees sure do block your vision.
Yes, they do. Alright, we're farming. We're farming.
We're doing things for our own farm.
Yay!
Zappy. You're probably right, though.
Good to know, Safi. I mean, we do have machines to harvest the rock crop, so
I can turn on my own damn music and it doesn't need to be DMCA free.
you can.
Oh, we're gonna need Bale technology at some point for all this.
Yes. Probably worth investing in something like a loading wagon. Probably couldn't run a baler right now, but we can check. Might be able to get a cheap round baler. Let me get myself going on the next swath here, and I'll check. Okay. Sales, first off. We've got auger wagon, tedder, big cedar, mower.
So remember, we've only got 100K and we're gonna need speed and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's a baler that's worth buying. $20 and a soda for all day picking rocks. Yep, I did my fair share of rock picking when I was a tiny tot. Alright, baling technology. Balers, there we go. Cheapest baler looks to be 22,000. What are you? Oh, this makes tiny bales. Okay. And then round bales. Okay. I could see that working. 22,000 for a tiny bale maker. And then...
I have new equipment until we get our first harvest.
Well, I'm harvesting right now. And what's coming behind me is straw that we need to bale or we're going to lose out money. So that's what I'm attempting to solve for. So unless you don't want us to do any baling.
Well, the thing is that we're going to run into the same problem we did before, where we're just going to run out of money.
But what I'm saying is baling is money.
Okay.
Because I literally have straw here on the field that could be sold if we have something to sell it with.
Alrighty.
But it just comes with costs for the baler, costs for the tools to load the bales into a trailer.
These are tiny bales. I think we can pick them up by hand. I'm not positive on that. But then we could dump them in our trailer that we've got over there.
Yeah.
Worst case, we can bump them around and move them that way and then sell them when we do have the means to move them.
Because it looks like with the equipment that they gave us, we're sort of funneled into just grains right now. Like at least for a while.
I just know that a third to a half of wheat's value is in the straw that you can sell, so I'd hate to leave that just sitting there. Because the only other option is to plow it into the field and call it a loss. We do actually have to keep our tractors fueled, Smooth Agent. We just don't have to worry about it for a while. Do I have fuel usage on a moderate value? Economy's normal. Fuel usage normal. Dirt wear normal. Okay. I mean, Safi, we could potentially do that. That is possibly an option. Not quite down to pitchfork level, but there's some smaller scale options in this. But yeah, it does focus a lot on the large scale stuff. You may not have noticed, Smooth Agent, or you may have had it turned to like a really low fuel usage option that wasn't something that ever hit you. Who knows? Did you play 17 or 19, or did you play an earlier version of Farming Sim? '17 was the last you played. I'm pretty sure Fuel was in 17, but I don't know for sure. It was?
Yeah, it was even in 13.
Okay. And I don't know what settings they had for it, so they might have had a setting to turn it off, or so low that you didn't even notice.
Maybe. The thing about 17 and well, not 100% about 17, but 13 for sure. You, if you did hired work, they didn't use your fuel. They didn't use your seeds, and they didn't use anything. But I found, because I hired on a campaign, I was just testing some stuff, and planting trees, and it charged you for every sapling it planted.
So that's a setting in this one and in 19. I'm not sure about 17. So you can set whether or not your workers will use what they've got available or if they'll buy it outright.
Yeah.
So I've got it set so that they'll use what they've got available instead of buying. But we may want to change that depending on how much work we want to do on behalf of our workers.
Yeah, so like if I hired a worker here, it would probably just be his employment then, and then not the cost of fuel, cost of maintenance, and cost of seeds.
Right. I'm pretty sure I turned that off at least. Let me double check. Yes. So the options are fuel, seeds, fertilizer, slurry, and manure.
Which is good, because I gotta get these kids to bed at some point here.
Yeah, feel free to hire and walk away if you need to.
Okay. I do like this field. I like these fields. Fields are awesome.
They're nice fields. Nice, gentle rolling.
Alright, Jose, take the wheel. I don't think I can, I don't think I can hire help. I think you have to.
Oh, that's right. I need to set permissions. Hang on. Farms. Oh, promote to farm manager. Maybe that'll give all permissions.
Yeah, I got it.
Good. Go for it.
Yeah, we'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okey-dokey.
I am 84% through this harvest. I'm happy to see that they did the extra baling sizes though, because previously it was regular square bales, regular round bales, and a lot of the farm fanatics were very upset by the lack of different sizes that are standard among other farms. And the small ones are much more easily workable for a small farm like this. So I'm hoping that we can move them by hand. Let me check on the horsepower requirement for that. 50 horsepower, no problem. We got that. Oop, going up course. Oh, I need to change my game, don't I? I'm still showing Stranded Deep. Now we're stranded on the farm. Done. There we go. Deer. Oh, going off course again? No. I suppose I could probably turn on music too, couldn't I?
Gonna do pretzel?
Probably. I don't know if I trust the in-game radio.
I wouldn't, that's for sure.
No, why did it turn off? Oh, because I hit 100%. That's why. Okay. Let me get to a spot where I can open up. Here we go. Yum yum. So now the question is, do we sell immediately or do we wait for better prices? I will have to look.
Sorry, I'm back for just a temporary minute. I think we wait until we're either really low on money or opportunity is there.
Okay, let's look at the current prices, see if that's a thing. That button. No, that button. Nope. That button. That button. There we go. Wheat prices at 7.04 currently, and the fluctuations show we are in August at the lowest possible wheat prices. So if we waited till end of year, wheat prices could go up drastically.
I mean, we got the storage facilities, so
I'm okay with that. Come on, tractor, you can do it. The gear shifting in this feels a lot more almost realistic in the sense that they struggle at certain gears sometimes.
yeah. Or depending on the tractor, it like will take a second.
Yeah. Alright, let's load the wheat into the silo. I didn't turn on music. Turning on music now. Let's do chill station. Alright, so the harvester still has 15% left in it. Gotta pick up the rest and then set that thing back off cooking. Good, good. Okay. There we go. Continuing the harvest. Let me know if you're getting close to that tractor that I left in the way. I'll probably be done by the time you get there.
Yeah, I'm still good for now.
Oh, steering. Steering is hard. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna owl my neck around a little bit. Whee! Turns out we have no neck bones. Because you can just sit in the cab and spin your neck around all the way. Did I just do what I think I did? This is why I do first person, or third person. Because I can't plow straight.
When the equipment gets too dirty, does it stop operating properly?
I don't think the dirt matters. There is a little orange wrench icon at the bottom right.
Yeah.
That's the one that dictates how functional they are.
Okay, I was just asking because you did mention a dirt property, so I was wondering if that actually affects anything or just cosmetic.
I think it's just cosmetic, but I don't know, and I haven't seen any mention of that changing in this game. But previously, it's been just cosmetic.
Yeah.
And I do find it a little bit odd that there's a setting for that if it's purely cosmetic.
Well, some people don't want to see their nice shiny equipment get dirty, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming at some point we'll find out. Yeah, that's right, car. Wait your damn turn. I'm working here. I like this gentle hill that we've got on this wheat field. That's nice. Yeah, 2 more passes. Alright, I'm on the final little stripe for the wheat.
Okie dokie.
I'm about a little over halfway done.
Okay. Oh, and because of the graphical enhancements of this game, I can actually see from here how far along Sparkle is.
Yep.
Previous versions of the game, I wouldn't have been able to see that from here.
Nope. I can't do math right now, so I have no idea. I just know eventually I'll be done.
Looks like you're about 2/3 done. Give or take.
Yeah, about there.
Okay. Wheat has been emptied. Oddly enough, this thing randomly spits out tiny little chunklets of wheat long after I've turned the thing off.
Yeah, I saw a little splotch of it.
Yeah, there's like 3 of them that I've done so far, and I don't know what's causing that.
Maybe that's how it is in real life.
Maybe when it's because I was just offloading the internal wheat, and it decided it was gonna poop a little. So maybe when it frees up a little bit of its top inventory, it has to lower its bottom inventory a little bit. Who knows?
Maybe.
Alright, I'm not gonna put this thing on the trailer for the moment. I'm just gonna park it right here. Just park it. And then lower? Lower. Yes. Okay. There's gotta be a way to turn off the UI so I can get pretty screenshots. Gotta be a way. Buttons, buttons. Radio, vehicle lights, gearbox, camera, select camera. Nope, okay. Zoomy, menu. Ah. The print screen button takes a screenshot and probably saves it somewhere. Where are you saving the screenshot? No idea. That'll be for later. Dumping off the last bit of wheat, and we'll see how much we ended up getting. I think it's about 10,000 liters. I like that they don't start you with anything in the silo, even on easy mode. It always bothered me in 19, because they started you off with like 4,000 or 5,000 liters of every crop, for some reason. And you always had to deal with it, either sell it or whatever. We have 11,756 liters of wheat. Wonderful.
We are also going to need a sprayer.
We are going to need a sprayer. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me check out prices of stuff. Let's see. So we could do a sprayer for 54,500. A little bit, or no, sorry, 34,500. I was looking at the 5,000 before that. So 34,500, or let's see. The cheapest weeder is 9,500, and fertilizer, cheapest spreader is 25,000. So about the same price, depending on which direction we go. I don't think there's any other fertilizing option that we can get easily right now. We got manure spreaders and slurry tanks, but we don't have access to either of those things really. So 25,000, 9,000, 34,000. It's identical. Identical price if we do the sprayer that does both things versus the separate weeder and solid spreader.
Huh. That's weird.
I feel like there's a catch.
I feel like there is a catch, yes. Let's see, the weeder is 6 meter width, and the spreader is 42 meter width, versus the sprayer that can do both jobs at 24 meters. I feel like the sprayer is probably going to be easier to work with,
Yeah, I think so.
because that'll handle our weeds and our fertilizing.
Yeah. Well, we can get one of the limes at the same time. Do we need anything that limes?
Eventually, yes, but the cheapest lime spreader is 45,000.
Okay. So it's going to be more like we're just going to stage getting crop improvement items.
Pretty much, yeah.
as we move forward.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the rocks, lime.
Let's see. 2,000 liters of liquid fertilizer. 3,200, 2,400 for the herbicide. Solid fertilizer is 3,800 for 2,000 liters, give or take. So that's about the same price. Yeah, I think the only reason to go with the manual weeder is that you don't have to pay for any of the weed killer. That's the main benefit to it.
So long-term savings.
Much more long-term savings. However, since it's only 6 meter working with, it's a lot of extra manual labor. Also looking at the Baler option, 22,000 for that, or do we have a loader wagon that we can work with? Where's the loader wagons hanging out? Those are all forage harvester headers. Where are the loading wagons? There we are, forage wagons. Cheapest forage wagon is 30,000. Okay. It'll be cheaper to small bale it.
So if we see one of these devices that we'd like on sale, then that's kind of the discussion that we
Yes. Yeah, for right now, the only thing that's on sale is a mower, a forage wagon. No, this is a... What the hell are you? It's a wagon of some kind. I don't know what it does. Used to transport different crop types. And that's it. Okay. And then this is a windrower. And this is a very large form seeder. So nothing that we can really use right now. Do we have baling? Hey. Grass, hay, forage? No. Okay. What tractors do we have currently? So we have a small tractor, which is a stair.
I'm driving a Valtra Valmet 8750.
You are at the Valtra, so that's a 190 horsepower tractor. Sparkle's got the Massey Ferguson at 170. And I was driving the tiny one at 135. Okay.
All done, by the way.
All done? Good, good. Okay. So next step for money making would be the baling. So let me get the baler. We can customize the license plate for some reason. Buy it. Yes.
custom license plate theme going.
Oh yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go get the baler. Alright, tiny baler, don't fail me. Alright, so this is an unfold.
Do we need the what do we call it? The thing that spins it all together?
Oh, the windrower? No.
Yeah.
We don't need that only because it's already in pretty neat rows from the harvester.
Okay.
Windrowing is mostly needed when you do mowing and all that grass just ends up in big blankets on the field.
Gotcha. That's for like silage and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, let's see how well this thing works. Alright, so we turn it on, lower it, turn it on. Great. That's what it's doing. It's doing. Once the first bale comes out, I'm going to test to make sure we can pick them up, because they're the tiny bales. So it should be hand workable. I missed one. Horrible. Horrible. Okay. First bale. Aha! Hey, Sparkle, you want a job?
Okay.
Don't sound too enthused. Would you like to either bale or pick up bales?
I'll bail.
Okay. Oh, that was interesting. There was an actual audio change when I was inside the little overhang shelter thing there. Bale. bale hucking. Come here. Here, I have bales. Lovely. Ooh. Bale go fly. Nope, bale come back. Nope. Bale. Go in the hole. There we go. Turns out when I want to huck a bale really far, it doesn't work. But when I want it to huck it very close, it ends up clearing the tractor. This is going fairly smoothly. Having to run around like a chicken with my head cut off, but that's fine. How's your seeding going?
Almost done.
Sweet.
Gonna go check on the girls in a minute here. Tiny bales.
Tiny bales!
Okay, we're back.
Okay. Ah, bale. Bale. Get in the hole. Smooth Agent says it's hydration time. Good night, Smooth Agent. Thanks for hanging out.
Good night, Smooth Agent. Rest well, buddy.
Alright, looking like I can get about half of this field in the trailer before I have to go empty it. Well, looks about right. I can probably fit 2 or 3 more. You go there. You go there. Or you come out of the trailer again. You go there. Alright, that's probably not going to stay. Probably not going to stay at all. Nope, it did not stay. Alright. So, this is my full trailer load of bales. And now I need to figure out who buys them. Who's buying my bales? Who wants the bales? Hey, straw. There we are. Livestock market. That way. Oh, there's no easy way to get there, is there? That way. That way. Okay. I'm off the market.
Okie dokie.
Hopefully I don't have an accident that causes me to trip all of my bales. Very pretty. Just admiring the countryside as I drive by.
Get these crows out of our fields.
I think the only way currently is to run them over.
500 out of 10,000 solar panels. Damn. That's a lot of solar panels.
That is a lot of solar panels. Oh lordy.
Who had solar panels?
Wing is
Wing.
dropping 10 or planned 10,000 solar panels in Factorio. Good lord.
Oh boy.
Hooray! 2,000 from half a field of hay bales. Pretty good. Straw bales. Yes. I'm going to come back to the neighbor's field because they don't have anything in here. Well, good luck on that achievement, Wing. I have not gotten very many Factorio achievements, because I pretty much went straight into modded. I think I did 1.5 vanilla runs, I think.
Every Christmas, a group of friends, and we got invited to the last Christmases, do a Factorio run where we try and bang off one of the harder achievements.
Nice. Interesting Christmas plans you had there.
It was sort of their tradition that we just hitched a ride on. I'm watching Pine play Riftbreaker right now.
How is that?
I played through it too. It's a fun game, but it definitely needs multiplayer.
Which one is that? I think I know of it, but...
It's the one where you're like the robot suit, and your objective is to like colonize a planet.
Well, that narrows it down to a couple dozen games.
It's basically like Factorio, but space agey.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's got StarCraft 2 vibes with basically Zerg rushes. It's very pretty.
So I guess we could start cultivating this field. Well, let's finish the baling first.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to start cultivating, you certainly can, as long as you leave the bales.
Get out of here, crows! Bah, 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 bah.
We need scarecrows. Whoa, flying bales. Oh, are you going to attempt to put them in there carefully?
I don't know. It was my first time.
It probably would be more efficient to put them in there carefully, but that's like a lot of work and stuff. Wing gives Riftbreaker a meh. I think it's just on my list of things that I looked at that looked pretty, and I either own it or it's on my wish list, and I just haven't given it much time yet to look into it.
I like these baby bales. That guy just hit that deer. Get out of here, deer!
It's gonna try to eat our wheat leftovers.
That deer just walked on water.
Neat. Jesus, dear.
Oh,
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Canola! Last 2 bales unbaled.
Hooray.
good job.
Alright, I don't think we can fit too much more in there.
Jesse has joined the server.
Yes. See, it always defaults to your PC's name for some reason.
That's okay, math.
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 Alright, take these.
Okay, I'll just work on getting the rest of them to like a spot.
See if you can get them off the field so that we can start working on plowing while I'm still driving. Because it's probably going to take me another couple minutes to get there and back. Especially if I lose a bale.
Curious to see how much millions we get for these bales.
I'm going to guess 6,000 total.
More than potatoes.
More than potatoes, yes.
Hello, Valona.
Hello.
Hello, Valina.
Wow. That was interesting.
What?
Just sort of slid off that, didn't you?
Yeah, but I like slid through the tractor.
Weird.
Like I was looking up at you from the floorboards.
Bah.
Alright, round 2 of bales sold.
Fucking trailers. You can drop there.
So we have 2 more fields to plant. Do we want to go all in on canola, or do we want to wait till next season to plant something else?
Let's just go all in on canola.
Okay. Because yeah, the only option's canola or poplar, and we can't do poplar without a whole another round of equipment.
I mean, tomorrow's the new growing season for wheat and barley, isn't it?
I didn't look. New growing season for wheat and barley, you are correct.
And just leave them overnight.
Yeah, so we could either... I mean, depending on how long it takes us to get 38 ready, we might not be able to do that till tomorrow anyway.
Well, you all decide. I'm gonna go yell at my kids.
Okay, have fun.
Okay.
How about we save 38 for barley or something? And then do another canola on, what was that, 40? The one that you finished cultivating?
Okay. So now we need to plow the field we just baled, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or cultivate. One of the two.
Do we have a cultivator?
We have the cultivator, we don't have a plow.
Yeah.
Oh, what I'm doing is cultivating, not plowing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
was gonna move tractor towards what's left, if there is anything left.
There's like 2.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind.
Oh, we did pretty good.
Yeah.
So we had, let's see here. We were at like 79,600, I think.
Yeah, so each round of bales was 2,000. This next one's gonna be a little bit
Barley.
less.
Barley we can harvest earlier than either wheat or canola.
Barley, barley, barley.
I'm good with barley.
In case
so-
you didn't come up with a decision yet.
Yeah, I'm good with barley for this big field that we're still clearing because we're gonna still have to work it anyway.
Come on.
There you go. Do you
Okay.
want to do seeding? Or who wants to do seeding? And does anyone want to drive this to the sale point instead of me?
I will drive.
You'll drive? Okay. Let me,
Yes, Scooby, you do hear a Valuna. Valuna, Scooby says hi.
Hi, Scooby.
I'll plow you into this earth. Can you please move that tractor?
Oh,
And those bales?
yes.
Oh,
No.
I thought I left enough room for you to move.
I'm gonna need to turn around eventually, and it's in my way.
Isn't tab to switch into vehicles?
Yes.
Yes.
I cannot.
If
Yeah,
the,
you-
oh,
You
join
have
the
to-
farm.
Yeah, join the farm, and then I have to give you permissions to stuff.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I will, Scooby.
Oh my.
There's so
What?
many, so many hot air balloons around here right now.
Yeah, they do a lot of that for some reason. I don't know what's up with that.
It's a very hot air balloon friendly area. Hello.
Haut Beyleron.
Okay, so you got the seeds. This one has been plowed, so this needs to be seeded as well.
Yes.
We're on times 15.
Currently, yes. Because I was thinking that that would take us about as long to seed this field and get that other field ready for the next season.
Okay, but we don't want to make it like speed while you seed, otherwise it could push us over into the next growing period.
So it should be fine. We can definitely
Alright.
lower it.
I believe you.
So the only thing left then would be fertilizing that we don't have yet.
We don't have, yeah.
So Valuna, the tractor, is there for you to drive to the
Livestock market?
livestock market. Yes.
Well, what's this thing here? Oh, is this the weeder sprayer?
Do we have one?
What is this thing? Or is this the baler?
That's the little baler.
Oh, okay.
That's the tiny baler.
Tiny baler.
Alright, so I'm gonna do seeding.
Whoa, buddy.
Did you have an ambitious driver come at you?
Yeah.
Whoa, my goodness, there's a 25,000 fertilizing contract.
Ooh.
I kind of want to do that.
Does it have the really big two-wheel or the four-wheel fertilizer thing?
It's a decent one. Solid fuel fertilizer.
Solid fertilizer? Oh, okay. Which, hang on, let me look at that contract. 25,000.
There's also a 12,000 one too. I mean, it takes 3,000 off the top for borrowing the equipment.
Yep, and then it's going to be at least 4,000 to 5,000, if not more, to get the actual fertilizer.
Yeah. But I mean, still.
I say give it a shot to see if it's worth it.
All right, I'm going for it.
We're at 81,720.
That'll be a thing. I'm going. Where are you? Nice. There we go.
I will
Solid.
not remember 81,720.
also is scary.
Ridge marker. Let's try the ridge marker.
Oh, you get a No, never mind. Never mind. I'm stupid.
Okay.
I thought you get a discount for buying multiples in one.
Oh, that'd be handy.
How big is this? How big is the field? Let's take a look.
I'm gonna probably guess big.
Which field is that?
26.
26.
It's the biggest one there is.
That doesn't surprise me.
Okay. Okay.
Good luck.
I'm gonna
Have
say
fun.
I'm gonna say we need 4.
I would start with 2 or 3 because we don't know how fast it spreads.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if you overbuy, we're gonna end up using it. But if we're planning on getting that liquid fertilizer, then we might not end up using it.
Yeah. Go.
Did that give me a ridge marker to work with? It did. I don't necessarily know how to use it. So if that gave me ridge marker, does that mean I have to... I think I have to center myself on the ridge marker for that to work. I think that's how that's supposed to go.
So this spreader can fill, or can hold about 10,000
Okay.
liters, and a bag is 1,000 liters each.
Interesting. Bogging down a little bit.
Fucking yellow car.
Those darn cars. Oop, I need to... Okay. I'm attempting to use my ridge markers. I'm seeing how well this goes.
It's okay. I found it helpful, but I also found it that if you get the first line straight, you can just use your tire in first person
Right.
at the marker.
Yeah, and it seems like this ridge marker, at the very least, is overlapping a little bit. I think. Can't quite tell. Let's try it without the ridge marker. And third person, because why not? Okay, map time. Map time.
Nap time?
Map time.
Hmm,
I already
that's
did.
fun.
I already did nap time. Interesting that this tractor that they give us for seeding is struggling a little bit to use the seeder. I definitely see the purpose of the ridge markers now. This thing is a lot narrower than I expected.
Oh, this is a big ass field. Whew. Okay. Yeah, I think it's gonna take like 6.
Great. Yeah, I figured the money that you get out of that is probably mostly going towards fertilizer.
Yeah. But I mean, still like 10 grand in fertilizer and 3 grand to cost of the borrowed materials or equipment on Q car. Then you're still left with like 12 grand.
Right. Well, here's hoping.
Here's hoping.
Come on, tractor, you don't have to struggle to do this. You can do it, little guy.
Do you want this other tractor?
Huh?
Do you want another tractor?
Maybe? I think the one that you had the trailer on was a little bit more powerful. Unless you want to take over seating. Tractor.
Tractor. I might have left the radio on, sorry.
It's fine. Alright, tractor. Let's see if you can do it. Yeah, this one's definitely struggling a little bit less. Good, good. Good news is this thing uses practically no seed. So we've got enough seed to do all 3 of our fields, I think. I see Baluna over there doing donuts in the parking lot. Did you want to take over for the seating, or you want a different
No, I'm
job?
good.
You're good? Okay. Oh, kitten. Hi, kitten. Yeah. Not even halfway done with this field. This takes a while.
Yeah.
These are big fields.
Big fields and itty bitty machines. Okay. I'm going to finish this line here, and then I need to BRB for a bit. So, Baluna or Beer, did you want to take over?
I just took a contract.
Just took a contract, okay.
But I could finish.
Totally up to you on what you want to do. I will either hire a worker or just let it sit for a moment.
I'm still just finishing this contract, but yeah, I mean, I'm happy donating. Oh god, this fan just wrecked me.
Those
So-
cars, man, I swear.
Yeah, they're brutal. But yeah, I'm happy to donate the money that's from this contract for job work.
We all work for the same farm.
But I mean, like, yeah, I'm just saying, like, if there was any thought of this money being used for something important.
Okay. I'm just hiring a worker. It'll be a couple moments. So I will BRB.
I'm 66% done.
That's actually pretty fast.
Yeah. And I mean, I maybe have to go back and fill up one more, whatchamacallit, refill of solid fertilizer. And I am not being as neat at this anymore, so like, we'll see what happens, but maybe been like 15 minutes for 12,000-ish.
Yeah, that's good return. Like, fertilizing seems to be the best return for time.
Oh yeah,
Killer.
plowing sucks. I'll never plow or watch
Really?
someone plow for a contract.
Oh, for a contract.
Yeah.
I was about to be like, you son of a bitch. Get off our farm!
I seeded. That's just as plowish.
As I continue to work on this field that we baled.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back. To be fair, I'm pretty good at plowing. I don't even leave cruise control. There's no awkward turning for me.
Just cruise control the whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good, good. I definitely do awkward turning, 100%.
Oh yeah.
No, I just spin my ass around. Line myself back up and then go.
That's what she said.
That's how I get paid.
Alright, how's this field looking? How badly have I screwed it up? Only slightly. Hooray. Ooh, struggle busting up the hill here. Oh my god, cat. Hey. Stop with your whiny self, sir. Stop with your whiny kitty self.
Oh, I'm so sad.
You hit 98% and you have to go buy more fertilizer.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof.
Sucker. I did that to myself last night.
Meow.
Well, what I'll do is I'll just make a little bit out of that fertilizer thing and then leave it just in case.
Yeah, and you can always just empty the fertilizer back onto the ground before you turn it in.
Just poop on the ground.
Running a little bit slim on seed here. We'll finish this one, but I don't think we'll have enough for the barley field.
Scared I'm gonna yeet myself into this canal.
It might happen.
It will happen. Just when?
That's true.
It's first.
Beep. Almost done with the seeding, but almost. Hooray, contract finished.
How did this happen?
Not yours.
Bam. 95,332. What were we at before?
81.
Yeah, he got 21K.
Yeah. This is why I kick you out, sir. Damn it. So we got, what, 14,000 out of that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty good. I've got another one too for 12 here. Another fertilizing contract, so I'm going to use up the rest of this fertilizer that I got.
Good. Oh, I see why he's yelling at me. Okay. Hi, kitty. Good kid.
I like this tractor.
Which one do you have for that?
The Massey Ferguson.
Do you know which model?
8S245.
Oh, you got the large one then.
Yeah. Slick looking tractor.
That is case Massey. Where's the 8S Massey? Oh, is that only in the medium tractors? Oh yeah, that's only a medium tractor. I mean, it's a beef-tastic medium tractor, but huh? I thought it would have been. Yeah, it's a $200,000 tractor.
This is a nice looking tractor.
There's a lot of English songs on this French radio.
Do they at least have a French accent?
No.
Oh, well, that's just silly. Okay, canola seeding done. I'm gonna go pick up some seed to be ready for the next round.
I think that the rate we're doing these fertilizing contracts, we might be able to splurge on like a something.
A not
Get
so
more
tiny
yield.
seeder.
But we can get our own sprayer maybe. I missed the bridge. God damn it. Whee!
So, I mean, next thing that we're gonna have to do is fertilizing. And I don't know if we want to try to do that today before the next season, or wait until the next season pops up.
I'm all done this field.
Hooray!
And I think I'm all done for the night because I am tired as balls.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you though.
No problem.
Yeah, fun playing Sparkle.
Playing.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
I think I'm gonna sleep for a really long time because I took my meds today. My super sleepy meds.
Here's hoping. Sleep is good.
Okay, I dropped off the cultivator. This tractor is free.
Free tractor.
Free tractor.
Okay. Alright, bye guys.
Night,
Good night.
Sparkle.
Miss you.
Yeah, miss you too.
Oh, the sprayer does not spray as wide for.
Oh, is that the other contract one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the smaller sprayer.
So, do we want to do a more expensive solid spreader that could also do lime?
Yes. I'm a big proponent of like multi-function.
But
But
that's what he's saying. The solid one would do lime, but the liquid one would do herbicide.
correct. So
Yeah,
the thing I'm
either.
thinking with that is the solid one could do fertilizer and lime, and then we could get the really cheap manual weeder for like 9,000. And then we wouldn't need herbicide if we caught our weeds in time.
Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh. I'm all for combo stuff, so whatever the best combo would be, I haven't looked at anything yet. if there's a combo cultivator and seeder, I'm a big fan of that as well.
Okay. Let's see, shall we? So the combos that we've got a sprayer that can do herbicide and fertilizer. Or we've got a spreader that can do fertilizer and lime. There is nothing specifically for lime, so regardless if we're going to do lime at some point, we're going to need the solid spreader that can do lime and fertilizer.
Yeah.
And then for weeding, where's my weeders? Weeders, there we are. So there is a 6-meter weeder that lets you weed if they're young enough weeds. For combo work, there is a weeder that's twice as expensive that can also plant grass, oilseed radish, and canola.
Oh boy.
So that's a combo. And that one is good for the oilseed radish, lets us plant a cover crop that we can then plow in for a round of fertilizer. So that weeder's got some multi-purpose to it. I've used it before. I like it. In the future, more expensive seeders can do seeding and fertilizing in the same pass, which is also nice. But those are really expensive, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we're going to go the combo route, I think a solid spreader that can do lime and fertilizer, and then the weeder that can do a little bit of seeding as well,
Yeah.
would
let's
probably
do
be
that.
the best bet.
Agreed.
So
Wait.
we
Why
don't
would you
need...
want to...
What?
Oh, yeah. Would you... So how does that work, though? How does the weeder weed when it thinks something hasn't even been seeded?
So the seeder can be turned on separately, so you can use it just as a weeder. Or if you're in an empty field, you can use it to seed grass, oilseed radish, or canola.
Is there a cultivator seeder combo?
I believe there is. So those are essentially called direct drills,
Yeah.
and there are some ones that can do direct drilling.
The reason I like that one the most is because it's just a single pass. Like, you just get both things done in one go.
Right.
Whereas the weeder seeder seems like it's a two functions, but yet you still have to go through twice.
Yes. So unfortunately, with our current options, the cheapest direct drill is 109,000. Right.
That'll be a thing.
Not only 109,000, but it requires a beefier tractor than we own.
Okay. Put a pin in that one.
Yeah, right. There's
What
also...
about greenhouses?
Oh yeah, Jess was playing around with testing out greenhouses in one of her campaigns.
So greenhouses are under buildables, and we have construction. So what do we have for greenhouses? Building, silo, silo extension, container, tools, farmhouses, production, greenhouses.
Then we need like a water tank.
We have a water tank. It's actually right here, next to our red tractor.
But a
Oh,
thing
yeah.
to move the water from there too. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Okay. So we have 3 different size greenhouses. The cheapest one is 3,000, and then 5,000, and then 10,000. Those, I think they just need water?
Yeah, you can fertilize them, but they just need water.
Okay. So cheap greenhouse, which is good. I like that. And then let's take a peek at how much it would cost for a
They're
tanker.
under livestock for some weird reason.
Yeah,
It took
that's
me
the weirdest
forever
option.
to find them.
Not animal transport either. Animals. Cheapest tanker is 9,000.
Oof.
I'd still be on board with that though, because that still would be
Passive income-ish.
more passive income. Actually, so previous games, greenhouses were just passive income.
Yeah.
Now they require you to actually transport the fruit and whatnot. But still, yeah. Yeah, I'd be on board with that.
Yeah. So what's the spray distance of that lime solid?
That is 12 to 18 meters, depending on the upgrade that we get to it. So it's not huge, but it's still pretty decent.
I think that's what I'm working with right now.
Is it the two-wheeled red one?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not huge. I mean, it's not... The cheapest one is 25,000, and that's got a 42-meter spread, so it's massive.
It will be fine for our fields.
Right.
And honestly, this isn't so bad. Like, if all it takes is like $4,000 worth of fertilizer to get 12 grand out of a contract, and we don't have to pay the utility cost of borrowing the trailer, then that's fine. I'd do this again.
So if we get the cheaper option, it's 45,000, with the option later to upgrade to a 6-meter wider spreader.
Yeah, I'm pretty sold on that.
Okay.
But that's a group decision.
It's expensive, but we do need to fertilize if we want to make any money.
Yeah, I think that.
So
I like the idea of fertilizing and liming.
How about we start with the fertilizer? So the only thing with the liming, I don't know for sure if you can lime after a field has been planted.
I see.
That's the only thing I don't know.
So we can get it done on the next field, though, because I think we still need to...
Right, we still have to do the wheat field.
Yeah.
Barley field, correct. So should I just go ahead and buy that spreader?
Yes.
And then the weeder, I think we can wait until next season because we don't have weeds yet.
Yeah,
So,
I'm down for that.
spreader.
And then we'll worry about that combo seeder another time.
Okay. No spreading discs. Wheel setup. Oh, I think narrow tires would be very important. That's the other thing. Oh, never mind. We don't need narrow tires. We turned off crop destruction because that's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't need to worry about tires. How about those tires? I like those tires. And they're free. It's even better. Okay. Buy. Yes, buy. Okay. Who wants to go pick it up and do spreading?
I'm almost done this contract. I'm about 7/8 of the way done, so I'll just go grab it after I'm done this.
Okay. You're gonna have to pick up a new tractor though.
And then I will buy some more fertilizer.
I will bring a tractor there.
You'll bring a tractor there. Okay. Actually,
Get the
Luna, do
greenhouse
you
as
want
well.
to do the greenhouse stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
That's her
then
gem. She's greenhouse and animal control.
then
eventually.
I will go pick up spreader. If you want to take the tractor you are already in and pick up the tanker, and then go ahead
Gotcha.
and place the greenhouse wherever you want it. Ah, tree! God damn it! I oversteered repeatedly until I hit a tree.
I gotta say, I don't know if it's because we've missed so many versions of the game, but this one feels really cool.
Good, good. Yeah, I haven't played any of the older ones. I've only seen them. And definitely some serious enhancements with these last two versions. Oh, I did not mean to drop my weight. I meant to pick up the other thing.
They definitely
I took the long way.
Yeah, yeah, you did.
they definitely changed a few things to make it a more difficult, I would say. I remember in like 13 when you kind of got bored of like doing stuff the hard way. You could just buy a bunch of things that gave you passive income, and then it would like allow you to sit there and fast forward time and make a bunch of money.
Right.
Do I need to buy the tanker?
Yes. Yeah, and there still is some passive income in this, but there's a lot more that's dedicated to actual work. I think the closest to passive income that we've got in this version is energy production. So pop a windmill down, pop some solar panels down, feed it into the grid, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But all the greenhouses now have been converted to requiring work and then requiring actual delivery of the product.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to look up whether or not we can do the lime after it's been planted. Let's see, is that info anywhere in here? Improving yield. Fertilizer. Lime. It just says you can get lime. That's helpful.
Well, we can just test it real quick.
Yeah. Let me drop off the fertilizer there. Buy bag of lime.
I mean, worst case scenario is we use it on the unseeded field that we still need to do.
Right. You know, it's funny, I'm looking at the neighbor's field that has all of the dead weeds in it. And because they're all dead weeds, it looks like his field is absolute trash. But in reality, he's got a pretty darn good field because he killed all the weeds. Ah, hi.
Hi.
Ta-da!
Hooray! Okay. I'm here to pick up lime.
A herbicide contract for 10,000.
Also nice. And once we start getting more of our own machinery, we can start saving more money on contracts too.
Yeah, because I mean, like, this takes off 1,800 from using
Yep.
it. So which one do I need to do? Field of 5. It's a pretty big one.
Okay. I am here. I am going to spread a little bit of lime and see what happens. Looks like nothing's happening. Let's check the map. Yep, still needs lime. Okay, so it cannot be limed after seeded.
Yeah, okay.
Miscellaneous? Miscellaneous? Someone doesn't know proper bookkeeping. Miscellaneous is a worthless category.
Okay, what size greenhouse?
I would say medium? I cannot change the spread width. Okay, that's fine. I just need to get used to the spread width on this so I don't screw it up next time. Oof. Alright. So, lime usage, very heavy. 2,000 liters was enough for about a third of the field.
How much does it cost?
It's not too bad. It's only like $4.50. So it's really cheap, but you just need a lot of it.
Do I checks to make sure the train's not coming?
Just go for it. Full on. You'll be fine.
Send it. I don't know why, but there's something so satisfying about these herbicide tractors when they unfold.
Oh, are you in one of the big ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those things. So we have a machine, DLC wise, that I would love to get at some point. It's the saddle track. And it's this multi-purpose machine that you can just plug in the various tools that you need at the back of it. And it just does everything you want. And it also looks like it'd be very satisfying to unfold.
Oh, this is like pressure washer porn levels.
Is the spread on this much bigger? What the hell? Alright, fertilizer spread on this is like twice the size of the lime that was coming out the back. I don't understand.
That's
I'll
not
take
compute.
it. I just don't understand. What's this miscellaneous nonsense? Is that when you do water?
Oh, maybe.
Fascinating. field number 40 is fertilized. Double check, make sure it all looks right. Yep, all good. So what you growing in the greenhouse?
Nothing's grown yet.
Do you have to pick and choose what you're growing though?
Yeah. I
What,
was thinking strawberries.
strawberries. Works for me.
You're gonna have to get her unstuck again.
No, I'm good.
Where is the stuckening happening?
Just trying to park this trailer. Tanker.
Is that the one that has the dolly, the swivel thing at the front?
Maybe? No? I don't know.
Does it swivel at the connection to the tractor, or does it have its own separate swivel point?
At the tractor.
Okay. I mean, those still suck to back up, but if you're feeling ambitious, go ahead and try the green trailer at some point. Those drive me nuts.
God damn it.
What damn it?
98% again.
Oh.
There's no way I could have done it though any different. Like, it specifically, I did that almost as perfectly as I possibly could have.
That is unfortunate.
It's okay. Just buy a little bit, keep the rest there for the next one.
Yep, chances are we'll need it for our next field anyway. Or next contract, whatever.
Mm-hmm. I definitely like these big contracts. Makes me feel like I'm contributing a little bit more.
Right, rather than like a couple $1,000 here and there.
Yeah.
So the solid fertilizer does go fairly slowly, thankfully. It's taken me less than 1,000 liters to do both of our canola fields.
Wonder if it's worth it to get, I don't know, that's getting cows and things like that is a huge expense just to produce our own fertilizer.
Yeah, it's definitely a long-term thing. Not something we can do in the short term here. Oh, it is doing that. Okay. Alright, both of the planted fields are done fertilizing. I'm gonna put this right there. And look at the greenhouse. Strawberries running. Water, 10,000 liters. Strawberries, 35 liters. So the question is, how do you get the berries out when you're done? Ooh,
There's a loading zone.
there's a loading zone. Managed production point. Strawberries, storing. Material, cycles per hour. Okay. Status inactive. What? Oh, it's because I was clicking on tomatoes. Okay. Up to 40 liters of strawberries already. Neat. Nifty. And then I'm assuming do we trailer it? Or is there a way to unload pallets? Or how does this work?
Good question.
We'll find out. All right,
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Damn it, I was gonna say that.
I'm gonna go get more lime to finish off the barley field.
Dragon Ball Z. Completed.
Hooray!
That kinda, I mean, except for a couple of smaller fertilizing jobs, which I could pick up. You guys need me back at the farm for anything? Ooh, baling.
I don't think so at the moment. Oh, be careful of the baling contract.
Oh, they want you to mow and then dry
Yeah.
and gutter and bale.
They want you to do the whole damn thing.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Look at that. 3 visible equipment plus 5 additional equipment.
Yeah.
They just throw the whole freaking farm at you and say, here, it's yours now. Go have fun.
No thanks, John.
Oh, the harvesting might be worth trying. Because in 19, when you do the harvesting, it does the same thing and it ends the job a little bit early. And whatever is left over, you get to keep it.
Okay, I'll grab this one. Just
Worth trying to see if that's still a thing. Because harvesting is quick regardless. Oh,
Field 9.
jeez. Suddenly there's a whole bunch of stuff in front of me.
Blah, 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 blah.
Alright, lime. Buy 2 of them. And if you need help with that harvesting, one of us can come do trailer unloading too.
Gotcha, that'd be good. They even gave you a little trailer for the
Yeah.
head.
It's not normally needed, but with the narrow roads of Europe, it actually is kind of necessary.
Okay, going to field 9.
Oh, you're braving it without the trailer header. Okay. Good luck. Good luck
Why?
not getting stuck on every tree or every car that passes.
Oh, well, that's a lot of trips.
You just ran over a bunch of deer. Way to go. So the trailer header goes on the back of the harvester itself.
Oh, can it? I didn't see that there was an attachment. Oh,
It's hidden well up under there, way up under
Okay.
the undercarriage.
then if I put this, okay, let me go do that then. I'm okay with that.
Just
as long
a
as there's-
friendly recommendation from having crashed multiple harvesters in my time.
Yeah. I'm going for it. Going for it. It's a good point.
Okay. Let's
Does this thing just automatically go on there? Oh, it does. Okay.
it does,
Snaps
yes.
to it. Thank goodness.
The greenhouse is indestructible.
Nice.
Good.
Excellent. That's how I like my greenhouses.
Best glass Europe can buy. Alright, doing the other half of the lime on our barley field.
Yeah, I gotta say, I much more feel this level of difficulty.
Yeah, I mean it's weird that it's such a big difference.
It's huge.
No game cartridges available.
What?
I was just trying to play the game.
I'm like, this game doesn't have cartridges. What?
I mean, it does if you play it on console.
True.
What? What console? It's 64.
I want to go in the houses.
I'm sorry, Wing. Losing the game is always tough.
Which game?
The game.
The game.
Oh, that hacking one?
No. Beard might actually be too young.
He might be. I personally refuse to play the game.
Can't lose if you never play.
Exactly.
I agree with that thing.
Way to roll with it.
Yep.
Oh god. Barn. I found the barn.
Sugarcane that I'm driving through?
Possibly. We do have sugarcane
Looks
options.
cool. Looks cool. Looks cool.
I've never done sugarcane. I did tons of 19. I never did sugarcane. I did a little bit of cotton. Never did sugar. I'm trying to think if there's any other crops I didn't really do. I never really did corn as a forage crop. And I think I only did like one round of regular corn.
We did corn back in 2013. I liked it. I thought corn was nice.
Corn?
Corn's
Corn's fine.
Nice.
Did you do corn forage harvesting though? Or
Both.
You did both, okay.
Yeah.
That was never a thing I did. Okay, so the lime is done.
Excellent work.
Great, it decided to plop that box right in the middle of the road. Not where I wanted it.
That field is going to be stellar. It's going to be really... Now we just need to get the D-rocker, and we'll really roll in the yield potential.
That would be nice. A D-rocker and a plow, like an actual plow.
Yeah.
Alright, can I plop this here?
I wonder if there's like a...
Close enough.
I wonder if there's some sort of chart that shows the yield growth based off of each activity that you do, like herbicide. And,
I was planning on making one.
see if it's really worth getting like the D-rocker.
Yeah, some of that stuff, it's really hard to do, because the only real way to get the information is by just doing it.
Yeah.
and attempting to do like one field that's been rocked versus not, and then one field that's been plowed versus not, etc. It's just a lot of time investment on that.
Yeah.
Because of course none of the fields are the same size, so of course you can't do multiple fields at once to get proper numbers.
Yeah. Oops. Sorry.
Okay. I'm thinking I should just go ahead and fertilize the barley field ahead of time. Balloon, are you still playing with strawberries?
I'm kind of just poking around.
Poking around? Did you want to do any of the spreading?
I could spread.
I have a potted plant in my way. You, shoo. How much is left in this, and do we have to get more?
Wow.
Yeah, definitely need more. Do you want to go get more, or do you want me to go get more?
I can get it.
Okay.
I feel like I want like 2 more people in this game, just to like have a full farmhand.
A full crew.
One full crew. Although, I mean, I guess we really only do have like 3 tractors.
We have 3 tractors at the moment, so we'd need more.
But we also have a harvester.
We do have the harvester, but that can't always happen, unfortunately.
I guess 4 is the perfect number, but
Is there a reason you're spraying all of our fertilizer out the backyard? Are you trying to fertilize your strawberries?
I
let's see.
didn't think it was on.
I just turn around, there's just white stuff spraying everywhere. Oh dear.
That's my job.
So we have 144 liters of strawberries. I don't see them out anywhere yet. I don't know if that's a manual thing or if they just pop up when there's enough of them.
It'd be nice if you could rent just specific tools out of the thing. It's like the ones that you have, you don't need to rent.
Oh, yeah, just
Contracts.
instead of taking their whole package of materials.
Yeah.
That would be kind of nice. Oh, how are you doing with the harvest yield so far? Do you need a cart?
I just pulled up the trailer, so I've just started now.
Okay. Wondering if I should go pick up a harvest job too. Oh god, that's a big field. oh god, okay.
But I mean, no money invested in this though, so like no fertilizer or anything like that. Just give her. So this is canola. So canola sprays all the way out. There's no really way to like funnel it if we wanted to bale it.
No, canola does not have any straw. There are mods to make that happen. At least there were in 19 and will eventually be here, I'm assuming. But yeah, canola is just purely for the seed. And it's a fairly low yield crop, so you shouldn't have to unload too terribly often. Let's see, what am I doing? What do we need doing? Feluna's got the fertilizer going for the barley. We have 1 round of fertilizer done for the canola.
So I'm doing 38, right?
Yes. And it'll be very obvious where you've been because the white will just wash right off. Okay, let me check prices. That's not too bad. Ah. Oh, that was weird.
Right?
There's. I was kind of expecting to be bounced up and over, but no, just straight through. It'd be really nice if this price fluctuation thing were more legible. It's not very clear what this all means at the moment. Knight, raiding party of 2, hello, welcome.
Welcome, Raiders.
Welcome.
How does this work? Farming is going okay. We're building up from a little this time instead of building up from nothing. So we're able to, do stuff and actually progress a little bit. Faluna built a greenhouse. Ooh, we have our first box of strawberries. First box of strawberries just showed up. Looks like it's 150 liters. And you can pick them up by hand, so you can load them into the pickup truck. Good, good.
Oh, that's so cool. Finally, the truck is useful.
I know, right?
After I went through all the effort of parking it because we weren't going to use it.
Yes, Knight, I am very familiar with the how does this work question. Not so familiar with all the answers to that, though. Seasonal crop calendar is about when it can be planted and harvested, but there's not information on the prices. Hang on. Prices of all sellable commodities change constantly in accordance with supply and demand. You can influence prices by deciding what you want to put up for sale and how much of it. If you only sell wheat for several deliveries, demand will go down considerably. On the finance screen, you can see all income and expenditures, etc. That does not tell me about the commodity listing. So we're currently in August, and according to this, if I'm reading it right, which I'm pretty sure I'm not, it looks like prices go down in August and then start coming back up in September. I think that's what that means. And then prices continuously go up until January, and then February they start dropping drastically. What was that?
Which crop?
Looking at wheat. Because I'm trying to figure out if we can sell our wheat. Yeah, because, obviously, midsummer wheat, everyone's harvesting, everyone's selling. So if you can save it till middle of winter, then you might be able to get some decent extra money.
I like it.
Supposedly. That's what I think I'm reading. Maybe.
In the meantime, we could just do, again, keep the contracts going for the stuff that's worth doing.
Yep. Alright. Let me get over to your job here. That looks like that's still going to take a hell of a lot of time.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'd probably say about 20 minutes.
What's your fill at?
I'm at 66%.
Do you want to offload now just to have it done?
Sure.
I'll wait till you...
Let's
see, where's your hit O? There it is, okay. So if you turn around, I'll be driving through the field, but I guess that doesn't matter, does it? Go ahead and turn around.
Turning around.
Whee! That was a hell of a zoom you did there. Knight, I am self-hosting. I refuse to buy into their public server purchase schemes. You're going at what, 7 to 8 miles an hour? 9, 10?
10, yeah.
Looks like I'm just getting your dregs
I'm
as you're pulling it now. Okay. Now, do they want this to be sold? Like, do they tell you where to sell it or anything like that?
I'm not sure. Let me get in line here again and I'll check the contract.
Take the product to Marisone.
Marsone. Oh. That's a problem. Because I don't know how to do that. Because Marisone is the other city. Oh, I think I read about this. Okay, so I think what we have to do is I think we have to drop it off at the railroad station. And then we have to rent the train, fill it up, and drive it off the map into where it wants it.
That sounds really cool.
It does sound nifty. Haven't done it yet, but that's what I read, and it was very basically described. So hopefully we can figure that out. And hopefully we don't, like, yeet their product off the map or something and lose the
Not be able
contract
to
or
do the
whatever.
contract.
Okay. I'm going to leave this up at the top of the field or something.
Sure.
Because it's only 38% full, so we got plenty of time.
Might be worth a Google.
Yeah, I might Google that. Oh, that's bumpy as shit. What the hell? Okay. Nope, that doesn't help. Sell. Oh. This might require testing, but I see a thing here that says you need to cover your trailer while you're driving for sale or you'll lose grain from the wind.
Oh,
That's never been a thing before.
no.
Good to know. Yeah, no, there's not nearly enough out on Google right now to tell us how to do that. So
Okay.
I'm just going to assume. I'm going to assume that I'm correct. And then if I lose the contract, then that will be on me. Alright. So you're like a third of the way done. Wonder if it's worth picking up the other contract for that. Couple cheap fertilizing contracts. How's the fertilizing going on our field?
Done?
Done? Oh, then I might
Yeah,
be able to do one of those contracts with our
Nope.
own.
Nope. I.
You are doing that. Okay, perfect.
Oh,
Sorry.
That's fine. I will do the other harvesting job. 45 or 18? 45 or 18? Which one is the smaller field?
Probably the cheaper one.
Probably. That would be 18 right there. And then 45 is down there. Okay. Actually, 45 might be fun because it's just a long, straight field. I don't have to worry about wonky turning all as often. Yeah, we'll do 45. Contract. Harvesting 45. Borrow items. Okay, so 45. That was not the correct button. 45 is south, but I can't go that way. Cool. Alright, I need to go that way.
I wonder if, depending on the contract, if it's worth it to have an AI worker do some of them.
I would say probably some of it. I mean,
Like if you think about like the sprayer ones, I mean, even if he takes his cut of like $500 for work, it might save you some money, or at least time it for sure from filling up herbicide or whatever.
oh, you're talking about just hiring them to buy their own fertilizer too?
Yeah, because then you have an exact amount of
It costs you more for them to buy fertilizer.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
I thought
there's
it
a
was
surcharge. I think it's like 150%.
Ooh,
Oh, boy.
ouch.
Never mind then. Yeah, because I was thinking like, okay, well if the AI worker does the exact amount needed, then ultimately it might save you as much just because of human error.
Might still be worth having them do it though, just because they'll be able to essentially do the job perfectly and not worry about wasting as much material. And you can still manually unload them and keep the leftovers anyway.
It'd be interesting to see if we set, because we'll borrow the equipment for like one of the jobs and then send them off.
Worth finding out. In fact, I might even set the worker on this harvest so that I can go bring the tractor. And the harvest can get started. Where am I dropping this harvest off, by the way? I didn't look. Also Marisol. Great. Cool. Cool. Whoops. Unfolded. Lowered on worker. Do. This is the middle map, yes. The one that I cannot pronounce, so I'm going to pronounce it the American way, Haut Beyleron. And I'm going to piss off anyone who cares at all about pronouncing French. I wonder how many French speakers cringe every time they hear it. Like, do they just sigh and shake their head at the silly Americans, or are they just used to it at this point, or do they find it amusing?
I don't know. I've heard that the culture of the French are particular. This is probably overly stereotyping, but I feel like it depends. I bet you it depends on like what area of France.
Yeah, because stereotype-wise, I've heard many things about the French who are very particular about the French and not liking English being spoken wherever possible, that kind of stuff. But also, I know that that's not going to be consistent in the whole of France or per person or anything like that.
Even in Quebec, there's some cities have like, I guess, attitudes about that. Whereas like Quebec City is pretty like liberal and inclusive.
Okay.
I have been told that the further you get away from Quebec City, the more ignorant they can get.
That's fair. I mean, that's essentially rural populations in general, at least throughout much of the U.S. Is that the further away you get from big cities, the more, let's go with ignorant, people tend to be.
Yeah, I don't know a better word for it.
Alright, I'm gonna take over my worker so he doesn't keep spending all our money. Come here. Let me do it. Let me do it. Fight the workers in a cage match. I don't know. First we gotta build that cage, and then we gotta make sure that they're all running tractors and... How's it going, Pine?
Fine, I know him.
It's that guy, you know that guy.
Because you summoned a tornado on him.
I was also guiding him through his Rift Breaker experience.
How was it, Pine? Tell me.
I really enjoyed Rift Breaker. I think it's got huge potential. I think it's like the one thing. So like, Satisfactory is a fun game, and Factorio is a fun game, but the like element of PvE that is in that game is very threatening. Whereas Riftbreaker, it adds that challenge of just environment trying to kill you all the
Okay.
time.
Maybe that's why I didn't like Riftbreaker. Or not that I played it, but didn't like the concept of it, because some of those tend to be very heavy on the tower defense style. And I really don't like tower defense. Like, Factorio is probably the most I can tolerate for building defenses and having waves of enemies come at you. And if
So then you prefer Satisfactory kind of style?
I haven't played Satisfactory, but I like the idea of it.
I haven't gotten, I haven't advanced all the way that you can advance in Satisfactory, so definitely have still room to play in that game. But I find I always just kind of lose interest at about like tier 4 or tier 5
Okay.
because it becomes a little bit stale.
Well, they did just do a big extra update, but I suspect your staleness might be from lack of action, perhaps?
Yeah, I need something to do other than just building all the time.
Yeah, and that's a tough balance, because had the same problem with like Space Engineers versus Empyrean. Is that they both have very similar building styles, but Empyrean has so much more to do NPC-wise and combat-wise.
If they balanced it out to the point where it's like the builders could build, but then there was maybe dungeon type content for the people who want to go out and have a little bit of action gameplay,
Right.
but not necessarily what you're describing as like the environment comes to you and you have to build defenses.
Yeah, because that whole tower defense style, I end up losing interest in it because of the constant back that you have to go. Either losing all of your stuff because you failed at defense, or the extra amount of time and effort you have to put into defense that takes away from the overall experience to me. I found that happening a lot, even with Factorio, is that I would spend 80-90% of my time doing nothing but base defenses and not actually doing the game, which is what I'm concerned about, is playing the game and the automation and the mining and the designing production chains and working on trains and stuff. I can't do any of that if I'm worried about constantly defending my base.
That makes sense.
That's actually one of the problems I have with Space Engineers, and occasionally what we're finding with Empyrean as well is you're doing the combat thing, and all of a sudden out of nowhere your entire ship is lost, and you've lost like 10 plus hours worth of work. That's the kind of gameplay that irritates me.
Space Engineers is unforgiving, and it's confusing to me all the time. Why isn't this clipping the way I want it to clip? Why doesn't this place have air?
Yes. I definitely enjoyed my mods that told me exactly where my air leaks were.
Have you played Valheim yet?
I played a little bit of it. I lost all interest in it almost immediately. I don't know. I never really was able to pin down exactly what it was I didn't like about it, but it just didn't do it for me.
So those games kind of like, so yeah, you enjoy the building aspect, the growth, but not so much the action part.
That's the thing. I really do enjoy the action part, but it has to be balanced properly. And with Valheim, what we were getting was difficulty in expanding, because once you get outside of like the initial plains and go into the dark forest or whatever it is, there's just non-stop, never-ending creatures coming at you. And I would much rather go and find the creatures when I am ready for that experience, rather than have that forced upon me at all times. And I think
Yes.
that's the part that's getting to me. with Valheim, with even Factorial Combat Mode, all that stuff, is that it's always coming to you, and you have no say in the matter.
Yeah, because in Valheim you get the red circles too, which is like, just plop. Now there's guys, monsters of that level that you're on.
Alright, we're getting a little bit dark. What was my light button again?
F?
L? No.
I think it's a
F?
numpad thing.
F. F is the thing.
5 on your numpad as well.
Oh. Oh, interesting. 5 on the numpad doesn't even do the whole thing.
You also
5.
get blinkers too.
5 on
One.
the numpad is just the front lights.
Ooh.
6 is the back lights.
And 1 and 3 are blinkers.
1 and 3 are blinkers, and 2 are your hazards. Good to know. F just toggles through all the various light options.
Sun's coming up already.
What? What?
It's bright again.
It's 7 p.m.
What the hell just happened? It started getting bright again.
Clouds.
Clouds, mountains. People having fun. Who knows? Okay, let me unload here.
How goes your experience, Val?
What?
What are you doing?
Browsing?
Are you shopping?
Well, window shopping.
Window shopping, okay.
Almost done.
Almost done, okay. Where, how do I lose a big ass combine? What the hell? Yeah, since we're having to sell to Marisol, I don't think it'll be as easy to potentially get the crop overage.
Well, maybe. I think once we get it complete, then we just don't cash it in and we harvest the rest.
So you're at 58%.
I'm at in the trailer.
You're at 58% of the overall contract. So if you're almost done with your field, then it's still waiting for you to finish the actual sale. And that's the part that I was able to do a little bit easier in like a normal sell point, is that as you're dumping to sell, that contract will finish and you just stop selling. Might still be able to finagle it with Marisol, but I think it'll be a lot harder to work with. Is the other harvesting for Marisol as well? No, that one's to the farmer shops. That one might be one that we could test that with. Oh, missing.
I'm at 82% in this trailer. I'll be at 100% once I finish dropping all this.
Okay. just realized I moved my face and I'm covering stuff again. Ah, well.
Okay, full trailer here.
Is that the whole field then?
Well, no, I still got some in the harvester, and I got about 1/4 left.
Okay. I would say if you're up for it, go sell that whole trailer and see what percentage that puts you at. Oh.
I am up for it.
I don't know if you can do that, because you can drop off the material, but you would need to spend $1,000 to rent the train to go sell it. So I'm not sure if we can do that in stages.
Oh. You might want to utilize that bill all at once if you got to finish yours too.
Yeah. That is a good point.
Maybe this is why they make you sell to that particular place.
Very possibly. Their way of weaseling it out of you. Ah, well. Oh, hey, I need to move this tractor out of the way. That's real dark with the lights. Go figure. Wait, I ended up in yours. Because we have identical John Deeres. Oh god. Alright. This one's mine. I did like 5 feet of harvest in yours before I realized I was in the wrong friggin' harvester.
But
Okay. Is the moon still janky? Oh yeah, the moon's still janky.
It has 5 pixels.
It does. It's lovely. I wonder what caused them to decide on that. Because they couldn't have possibly not noticed that. So at some point that was a conscious decision that said, yep, that looks good.
they're anti-moon believers.
Apparently. The moon is fake, it's made of cheese.
Fake moon, fake landing.
The skybox moves weirdly because of DLAA. I forgot to turn it off again. But yeah, it's DLAA which attempts to use AI to interpolate frames. And it really looks weird. And I don't know if that's DLAA looking weird or if that's this game's specific implementation of it that looks really weird. But like, look at how it like paints and does weird things with skybox movement. It's just really bad. And I totally forgot to turn it off.
Okay, let me read this here. There's an information bubble. So, rent train for 1,000 per hour. And if we go over here,
The frames are coming from inside the computer.
this appears to be a drop point. Buy production point. So that is for 100,000. We could buy the sawmill.
Ah, okay. Oh, so we do have to buy the production points. Okay, good to know.
Sell wood here. Sell wood here. Trailer drop up. Could buy the carpentry for 60,000.
So are you up there just checking out the place?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do this.
South. If you go a little bit further south of you, there's the train station.
So we want to go to the railroad silo.
Railroad silo, and then there's a rent train button there as well. At least that's what I'm gathering from the information I got. So you drop it off at the railroad silo, and then you would rent the train, and you'd park the train under the silo spout, and then that would fill the train with the grains, and then supposedly just drive the train north off the map and done, I think.
That truck has so many strawberries in them.
Oh, is she transporting strawberries?
No, I'm just preloading.
Preloading, okay.
So where do I dump? Oh, right there. That's where I dump. Okay. Well, I don't know. I feel like we're gonna want to finish this 100%, not leave any over.
Probably. The other harvesting job does not go to Marisol, so we could potentially test that there. Because I'm all for stealing their crops if they're going to let me, but not if it's going to be, like, difficult and stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to send a train now and then see what happens.
Right.
Then have to rent it again later.
Oh man, those birds flying up from the field when it's dark like this looks real janky. They just paint a trail up in the sky. Yeah, I'll need to remember to turn off the DLAA as soon as we're done for the night here, because I have to exit out before I can do that.
The DLLA.
DLAA. It's NVIDIA's attempt at the AI interpolation of frames to try to get smoother frame rate cheaper. And it works. It's smooth as butter, but it just doesn't draw correctly in certain light situations. So like the trees are ghosting through the sky, and if cars are driving by quickly with their lights on, you can see the lights just kind of leave a neon trail behind them. Just looks really weird sometimes. Oh, so close. So close to being able to do a full line here. Tell you what, let me turn off this setting. Where is the setting? Back engine start. There we go.
There's a chance that when we get it to where it needs to go, that when we're offloading it on the train, we can keep the overture
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could figure out where we could potentially save that. Okay. I can hire a worker on that briefly. Ah! It's drawed 88% left on this thing. Alright. Hello, train. Goodbye, train. Oop. Alright, so what are you guys up to?
Just offloading.
Oh,
Just dicking around.
just digging around? Okay. Is there anything you want to do?
Overthrow the local government.
I think that might require purchasing the castle up on the hill over there, so, start making some money. All governments are for sale.
I'm just gonna finish this contract and then I think I'm good for the evening.
Alright then.
Yeah, it's getting a little late.
It is a little late, yes.
And next
toast.
time we can start a new day.
Yeah. Pine, what exactly does booping on Reddit consist of? Is this a newfangled term all the youngins are using? Oh god, endless scrolling on all. Oh dear. Vehicle running costs?
I repaired.
Oh, okay.
It's like we're not even using our vehicles.
Now, does our all have all? Like, is that just a random assortment from all of the various other subreddits, or is all its own thing that people post
It's
to?
its own thing.
Used to have all, but now it doesn't have all.
That sounds
It's a
like it,
curated all.
that sounds like it might be misnamed then.
Right. Pine knows what's up.
Ah, I see. Is there an NSFW all then?
Oh yeah.
Good, good. Honestly, never got into Reddit for some reason. It just wasn't a thing. I'll use it if something links me there, but
I was into it for quite a bit, and then I don't know, like, because I would use it as a bit of a news source, and then it just got really sad for like.
I blocked a
worldwide
bunch
stuff.
of the. I only have happy stuff on mine now.
Like there was that like all that fighting that was going on in oh my gosh, Israel and whatnot.
yeah, once they start going all political, it gets hard to want to pay attention.
Just every third post was like a video of somebody getting hurt, and I'm like, I don't know,
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's like that's sad and all, and that's rough, but I got my own things to worry about, and I don't need to be extra depressed. Ah, doing a broadening of your horizons then. I got it. That's fair.
Jess is really helping the team.
Hey.
Mhm.
The balloon is really helping the team.
What's going on?
Just playing with the lights.
Come be the trailer person. Grab our seed.
Yes, collect our seed. So fair warning with this game, the auto-saving doesn't work unless you go into the escape menu occasionally. Just putting that thought out there in case you play on your own or anything like that.
Silly.
It is. I don't understand it. But yeah, it will not autosave at all. It's got an autosave timer, which really got me the first couple times I played FS19. Because it's got an autosave timer, so if you set it to 15 minutes, you're expecting it's going to autosave every 15 minutes, like it says on the package. But it doesn't. That autosave timer is for if you're in the menu, or 15 minutes and then the next time you go into the menu. So if you play for an hour straight and don't escape to the menu because you're, I don't know, harvesting a field, for example, it will not autosave at all until you go into the menu after that 15-minute timer. It took quite some getting used to. I'm almost done with this field. I've got like 3 more passes to go, I think. That's probably a good idea, Pine. Filter out the political subreddits and stuff.
That is what a smart person would do.
Yes. See, I'm probably, unfortunately, mostly on Imager. Which, if anyone doesn't know, is where Reddit had almost all of its image hosting before they decided to do their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I was essentially, at least considering myself, to be going directly to the source. But Imager does not do filtering very well. It's got its own subculture. And it's kind of a cesspit, much like most of Reddit, actually. Then again, it's just the internet. Really. That's what that boils down to. The internet is a cesspit. I probably should figure out how to get into Reddit and stick with the subreddits I like. I just don't like Reddit navigation. I hate its UI design. Oh, that's right. Imager was made specifically for Reddit users. Okay.
I got fired.
You got fired?
Get out of here.
What?
Go operate for Twitch. Go show them what it's like. She's your problem now.
Okay.
That's the code over there.
Oh, it's going fine. She's just lining herself up. And that's all you had room for. Great. You know where you're taking that to?
Nope.
Okay. On the map, far north center.
Okay.
The railroad silo north drop-off point, which is the down arrow.
Where it says front train.
The one that's
I'm
close
going
to the
there
rail
right now.
train, yeah.
Okay.
So if you click on the railroad silo north that's got the down arrow, you can hit tag place with the enter key. Enter key? Tab key. Backspace key. There you go. And that will tag it with the green light that you can follow. Hello. He is the loudest guy, I swear. Hello. Kitty.
Okay. Where are you? Oh my gosh, you're way down there.
Yep. Other end of the map.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I am now full. And
Going
Balloon is
back
off
with
with
the
my
other.
trailer because she's full.
Oh, I wonder if I'm not able to. Well, if we can grab our trailer.
Possibly.
Yeah.
If you're talking about our personal trailer versus the one that you rented,
Yeah.
our personal trailer can't carry all that much. I don't know what its limit is, but it's not a lot.
Let's see here. So that is the basic.
Hi, kitty.
It's the basic trailer. It can hold. It doesn't really say.
Trailer.
5.1.6 tons is
Oh,
what I've got.
so yeah, so we got two different settings. We've got the volume and then we've got the weight. The weight tells you the 2.4 tons, but there's nothing in the game that tells you how much weight you're putting into it. So it'll just stop at some point and stop filling. The 8 cubic meters is it's basically 8,000 liters. And I've got 10,000 liters on me in this harvester.
Okay.
So our trailer's going to be able to pull some of it, or most of it, but not all of it.
I bet you it could take it. I think that this one was like 30,000. Or maybe just a little bit under 30,000. That's half. I'm going for it.
All right.
And whatever we get, and whatever we don't, we leave.
Okay. Why is there a random tractor parked in the road? Do I want to know?
These are great questions.
Faluna, watch out. There's a random tractor parked in the road up ahead.
That's probably the one that I just left.
Probably, you think?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes,
It was like a marker. It was a guiding,
Sure. That was your intended purpose, yeah. You went the hard way, unfortunately. You can try crossing the railroad tracks.
Going for it.
There's a bridge.
There is a railroad bridge.
Howdy, Paige. All right, I'm gonna
Hi,
watch
Paige.
this on the map. And see
Never
if
give up. Never surrender.
I'm just gonna watch the little purple tractor drive across.
Oh boy. This is a very
Well, you
thin
pulled
bridge.
over this tractor, at least. It's not in the middle of the road.
Oh, that's good.
Oh boy. This is how this is how something happens in a movie.
Yep.
There's nothing coming behind me.
So far, so good. There's no train coming behind you. Hey, you made it across. Good.
Aha. As intended.
And the train's on the other side of the map, so you're good. You don't have to worry about it coming. Alright, Baluna. Hard stop. You want to turn around a little bit?
Turn left.
If you turn around, there's a fork that goes off to the right. I believe you'll want to go down that right fork.
First, I'm gonna get stuck on rocks.
Well, yeah, naturally. We gotta do that first. That's important. So take that little right path there. And then there should be a drop-off point. Something
Yeah.
like...
Keep going. It's like inside the mill.
Yeah. Like right
Yeah.
right in there. Yeah. That looks right. I'm flashing my hazard lights.
Me. What direction are you facing is the real question.
That way. I'm doing Peachy Keen page. How about yourself?
Okay, so it's not going to take all of it, but that's fine. You'll have like 1,500 left over, maybe.
About, yeah. 2,000 left
2,000.
over. Good, good.
If they get mad at 2,000, then that's my fault.
No worries. Enjoy your Metal Gear. Make sure to launch as many people up in balloons as you possibly can. That's honestly one of the only reasons I'd consider playing that game. Because it just looks so fun to launch people up in balloons.
So we're going to want to turn the speed down to 1, because this train rents 1,000 per hour.
Ah, I see. How about 0.5?
There you go. I wonder if they just charge you 1,000 flat fee, or if it's like
Probably.
Yeah.
incremental.
I mean, if you stole the train for a season, they might be concerned, but I think it's just 1,000.
Really excited to see the yields of our limed and fertilized fields.
Yes. It will be wonderful, I'm sure.
Forgot to close my cover.
Oh no. Did you lose anything?
No.
Interesting. I wonder if that mechanic is not in place? Or if it's random and inconsistent?
Maybe it's only on hard mode?
Maybe. I don't see a setting for it. Like, normally there'd be a setting for wind blows your grains away or something like that. Alright, I have finished harvesting. I have 3,800 liters left. Bonk.
LeBonk.
All done. All empty. That is very forgiving. I just dropped the header onto the trailer at like total perpendicular. And it's like, bam, in place.
Yeah, I did mine backwards, and then it flipped it around for me.
Nice. Yeah, I appreciate that it's very forgiving. In
All right.
19, there was no there was no auto popping it into place, so wherever you dropped it, it just kind of stayed there, and that made for some very awkward transportations if you did it really weird angles.
So can I see the volume and how much is in here?
I believe if you just walk over it, it should tell you. Here, let me pop into your tractor over there.
Yeah, left it
Where are we?
open for
Here
you.
we are. Here we are. Nope, not here. This is the lime station, I believe.
That's the rent icon up there.
Normally, if you're at a pickup spot, you should be able to see the info, but maybe not at the unowned buildings. Because I know when I first started this map in one of my tests, I didn't own the farm, and I was looking around at all the various icons and I couldn't get information. And then as soon as I joined the farm to own it, that's when I was able to get information. But how about this? Maybe this will help.
Going underneath there.
Yeah. Because this would be a pickup spot, so it should let me start filling wheat, barley, oat, canola. 67,000 liters. And by the time Valuna gets here with the rest, we'll have 70,000.
It's a lot.
Yep, it's a lot of canola.
We can only dream.
One day. That's not canola down there. Looks like coffee.
I was just gonna say coffee beans.
Huh. One day, we'll get coffee. I'm curious what they're going to do for their DLCs, because with the previous few games, they've done DLCs that have like whole new lines of machinery and whole new production chains and stuff like that, and then those end up being vanilla in the next game. So like cotton was cotton was new as of 19 in a DLC, and then it became base in this game. Same with sugarcane, I think. So I'm curious what the upcoming DLCs are going to be, and what extra crops and stuff we're going to get. It'll be kind of neat to see what they're going to do with that.
South American map with coffee.
That would be awesome.
Ooh, that would be cool.
I would be happy with that, because they did a South American map with sugarcane in 19. So if they did something similar to that with coffee, that'd be wonderful. And it was totally like a Coke dealer's mansion. It was great.
Son of a bitch.
Paige, we're speculating on what crops are going to come in this game in the future. We're hoping for coffee.
That would be cool. Pineapples, fruits, things like that. That'd be great.
God, imagine pineapples though. You try to plant that stuff and you'd end up having to wait for like 5 years to get your crop.
Okay, well let's see how this train rents.
Okay. I'll run over here. Push the button.
I'm doing it.
Do it.
Where's
Do
the
it.
train?
I don't know.
I'm tabbing.
I have also been tabbing. Ah, I see it. It's coming on the map right now, and it's marked as purple now. Which means it's ours.
Give me the train.
We can't tab to it though, oddly enough. It's coming. It's coming. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me.
It stopped.
I'm inside the train.
Okay.
I am
Stop.
now.
Stopping. Okay.
So, how does it work? Are you able to drive it first off?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm in a sugar beet wagon.
Okay, I've started the train.
great.
So do I have to park the...
If you pull it forward, stop right about now.
Start filling.
A little bit
Oh.
forward. A little bit forward. Okay, stop. Do you have the option to fill?
Yes.
Okay. Do start filling and then tab to canola.
We got it. Fill and canola.
Hooray! It's doing a thing. Balloon, I just noticed your outfit. Very nice.
That's predictive in what she's going to get into.
That's fair. I also enjoy the beekeeping.
Okay, well, are you able to come along for the ride?
Let's see. Let's see.
I am in the canola car.
I don't think I can get in. I'm gonna stand on the logging car. I'd love to do logging at some point with the train.
Same here.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, the train's moving forward. I am not.
I am no longer. I'm inside one of the tankers now.
Did you want to...
If I run, I can keep up.
Oh, okay.
Run.
Well, here, you take it, Twin. You're the one who, we can at least watch what happens at your end.
Okay. Running, 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 running. Train. Okay, I am in train. Let's see. I don't have a honk button. That is unfortunate.
Beep, beep.
Okay. Toot toot. I am going.
Oh no, the train's going faster than me now.
Alright, I'll go slower.
It's fine.
No,
We're
no,
fine.
go,
Keep
go,
going,
go.
keep going.
Okay. Alright, we're driving off. The train will now drive to Marisone, and will return the other side of the map. Do you want to return? Yes. Yes. Contract finished.
Bye.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay.
It did not finish the field 9. Oh no.
Oh no.
So it finished mine, but it didn't count yours because I think it didn't know how to calculate both crops as part of the two different jobs.
That's so bogus.
Lame. Alright, bug report.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, because we did both of those and we have no crops left. Because I saw that it had 71,000 in the train. Boo. And it's 84% done, which means even if you were to tackle the last like tiny shreds of what's left on that field, it wouldn't be nearly enough.
Not even. Nope.
Boo.
Okay. Well, let's just... how do I abandon that? Yeah, there we go.
Let me finish this one. Collect. This one. Cancel. You ready to cancel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Failed.
Ooh. 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 Ooh.
Ooh.
Real bugged.
Wow.
$46,000 in missing crops because it didn't count them as sold.
Well, we didn't get hit for that, though. Oh, yeah, we did.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Cool. Cool. I will find a way to fix that. I'm pretty sure I can just edit the XML to add that money back in. Because that's bullshit.
That is awful.
That is absolute bullshit. Alright. We'll fix that. Don't worry about it. That was 48,000. I got screenshots. We'll deal.
We'll deal.
Well, what an exciting end to our day.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna wait to do anything else. You know what I am gonna do though? I'm gonna get our tractor and bring it back.
Okay, good call.
I can't tab into it
Probably because I'm already in it.
because you're already in it. That's why.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the greenhouse activities.
Yes. Greenhouse is good.
Where are you?
Hey, having problems?
Apparently,
Hey.
I don't know how to use hands.
Careful with my precious cargo.
There.
Make sure you strap it down.
It's all in. It's all strapped. We're good. It's a little bit janky, but it's fine. It's fine.
This truck is a little bit. Wade.
It's fine. It's fine. Balloony, do you want to go sell your strawberries for the last bit of today? Or is it worth selling? Let's, I guess, check that number.
Well, let's just wait until next time we
Yeah.
play.
Fair enough.
God, that cheeses me off.
Yep. Yep. All right. I'm good. I'm good calling it for tonight.
Same.
Thank you guys for playing.
Yep.
It was fun.
Thank you.
And the game has been saved, so we're done. Alrighty, bye guys.
Have a good night.
Bye. Good night.
Okay, so that'll be it for Farm Sim 22 tonight. We started off with Stranded Deep multiplayer, which turned out to be a buggy, janky nightmare. We had to walk away from that. But we have had some fun with Farm Sim. Paige, thanks for hanging out. Pine, you as well. Anyone else still lurking out there, thank y'all for coming. Thank you for any subs and follows that I might have missed. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.